Have you ever wondered why so many seniors struggle with body odor, even when they bathe every single day? What if the real reason wasn't age itself, but something much more surprising? And did you know that the spots most often responsible are usually the ones almost nobody thinks about cleaning? As we grow older, our bathing routines often stay the same. We focus on the obvious places, like our arms, underarms, feet, and private areas. But the truth is, there are hidden creases and folds on the body where sweat, dead skin, and bacteria quietly collect day after day. These overlooked areas may seem small, but over time, they can create a stubborn smell that lingers on your clothes, your furniture, and even in the air around you. This isn't only about hygiene, it's about dignity, self-respect, and confidence. Every older adult deserves to feel clean, fresh, and comfortable in their own body. Too many people blame age for changes in odor, when in reality, the real culprits are often a few forgotten spots. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 places on your body that almost everyone forgets to clean, especially as the years go by. These aren't the obvious areas you've already been washing. They're subtle, hidden zones that trap moisture and slowly turn into odor factories without you even realizing it. By the time you finish watching, you'll know exactly which places you've been missing, how to clean them gently but effectively, and how to keep your natural scent neutral instead of embarrassing. After all, you've spent a lifetime taking care of yourself. You deserve to stay fresh, confident, and respected no matter your age. So stay with me until the end, because chances are, at least one of these overlooked spots is being skipped every time you shower. And this could very well be the reason people around you notice something you don't smell yourself. So let's dive in. Number 1, the groin area and the inner thigh crease. This is one of the most sensitive and private parts of the body, yet it's also one of the most overlooked when it comes to daily hygiene. The crease where your thigh meets your torso is warm, moist, and often pressed tightly under layers of clothing for most of the day. That combination creates the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, trapped sweat, and layers of dead skin that quietly build up. As we age, this area becomes even more vulnerable. The skin grows thinner, more delicate, and sometimes begins to sag or fold, which traps even more moisture in places that are easy to miss with a quick shower rinse. Many older adults are careful about washing their underarms and private areas, but they skip the crease around the groin itself, especially that hidden fold where the inner thigh meets the base of the pelvis. Take Harold, for example. He was 75, always proud of his appearance. He shaved daily, dressed neatly, and never stepped out without a touch of cologne. But despite his careful routine, he began to notice a faint, sour smell by the end of the day. At first, he thought it might be his breath, or perhaps his shoes. But no matter what he did, the odor kept returning. It wasn't until a routine doctor's visit that he learned the truth. His physician asked if he was thoroughly cleaning the inner thigh crease. Harold was taken aback. He assumed a quick rinse under the shower spray was enough. But in reality, sweat, heat, and layers of dead skin had been quietly building up in that hidden fold for years. That unseen buildup was the true source of the odor he couldn't identify. The skin in this area is delicate, and with age, it becomes even more prone to irritation. But delicate doesn't mean it should be overlooked. In fact, because it sits so close to oil and sweat glands and is constantly exposed to friction from walking, sitting, or even the clothes we wear, it requires more attention, not less. When neglected, it quickly becomes a place where odor-causing bacteria thrive, and in some cases, that can even progress into rashes or fungal infections that are both uncomfortable and embarrassing. The good news is, caring for this area doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need harsh scrubbing or strong soaps. A soft washcloth, or even just your hand, combined with mild soap and warm water, is enough. Gently cleanse the crease where your leg meets your torso, making sure to reach into the fold itself and rinse thoroughly. After washing, pat the area completely dry with a clean towel. Moisture left behind is the #1 reason bacteria and fungus multiply, so drying is just as important as washing. For those who sweat easily or have sensitive skin, an extra step can make all the difference. Using a talc-free powder or a gentle, moisture-absorbing cream can help keep the area dry, reduce irritation, and leave you feeling fresh longer throughout the day. It's a small effort that pays off in comfort and confidence. So, if you've never paid much attention to this hidden crease before, now is the time. This isn't just about preventing odor. It's about treating your body with respect, caring for yourself with dignity, and stepping out of the house each day knowing you feel clean and confident. Sometimes, it's the smallest areas that carry the biggest impact, especially the ones no one ever talks about. Number 2, the belly button and the navel crease. At first glance, it seems like one of the tiniest parts of your body, but if it's ignored, it can quietly become one of the dirtiest. The belly button, particularly the inward or deep kind, acts like a hidden pocket where lint, sweat, oil, and dead skin collect day after day, often unnoticed. As we age, our skin naturally loses tone, which means the creases around the abdomen become deeper and more pronounced. Those folds give bacteria, sweat, and moisture the perfect place to hide. Unlike open areas of skin that easily get rinsed by water flowing over them in the shower, the belly button remains tucked away, almost like a forgotten pocket. You'd be surprised how many older adults bathe every day yet still carry an odor, simply because this tiny cavity hasn't been cleaned in weeks. Over time, that neglect can lead to a dark, waxy buildup inside the navel. It hardens, traps odor, and can even become a breeding ground for yeast or minor infections. And if your stomach sags even slightly, a completely natural part of aging, that fold beneath the navel can easily trap sweat and moisture. Warm weather, tight waistbands, or elastic clothing only make the problem worse, creating the perfect environment for odor to thrive. Think about Linda, a 71-year-old woman who prided herself on being meticulous about hygiene. She bathed daily, wore clean clothes, and always made sure her underarms and feet were fresh. Yet by midday, she noticed a faint sour smell she couldn't quite place. She checked her armpits, her shoes, even her laundry, but nothing explained it. Finally, during a doctor's visit, she learned the truth. She had developed a mild fungal rash just beneath her navel. The skin was pink, damp, and slightly irritated, all because she had unknowingly skipped over that area while showering. Like many people, Linda assumed water running over her body was enough to clean it. But water alone doesn't do the job. The belly button and the fold beneath it require gentle but deliberate care. Using a finger or a soft cloth with mild soap and warm water is the best way to wash this hidden spot. A few extra seconds of attention can prevent buildup, protect your skin, and help you feel fresher and more confident every single day. After washing, make sure to gently pat the area completely dry. Leaving even a little moisture behind can create the perfect breeding ground for odor-causing bacteria. If you tend to sweat more or live in a warmer climate, consider applying a light layer of talc-free powder or a gentle drying spray. These small steps help absorb excess moisture and keep the skin comfortable throughout the day. And if mobility or flexibility makes it difficult to reach this area on your own, don't hesitate to ask for help. There's no shame in it. Caring for yourself sometimes means allowing others to lend a hand. When this area is overlooked, the odor it produces can linger and follow you everywhere, no matter how fresh your clothes are. It's one of the most common but least recognized reasons older adults carry a scent that others notice, even when they bathe daily and keep up with general hygiene. Can something so small really have such a big effect? The answer is yes. This little fold may not look like much, but when given the attention it deserves, it can completely change how fresh, clean, and confident you feel throughout the day. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any future videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3, ear folds and the area behind the ears. You might not think of your ears as a place where odor hides, but for many older adults, this overlooked spot can surprisingly become a noticeable source of unwanted smells. The folds of the outer ear, especially the space just behind them, act like tiny ledges where sweat, oil, and dead skin quietly collect day after day. These tiny folds around the ears tend to deepen with age, and this is even more noticeable in men and women who wear glasses or hearing aids. Both create extra pressure on the skin, trapping heat and moisture in places where air can't circulate freely. Behind the ears is also one of the areas where natural skin oils, called sebum, are produced in higher amounts. When those oils mix with sweat and bacteria, they create a greasy layer that quickly turns into a musty or sour odor. The surprising truth is that most people don't give this area any thought during their shower routine. They wash their face carefully, lather their hair, and rinse their neck. But that small strip right at the base of the ear, curving down toward the jawline, is skipped almost every time. Have you ever rubbed your finger behind your ear after a long day and caught a whiff of something unpleasant? That's exactly the kind of buildup we're talking about, and it only gets worse with age if ignored. Think about someone like Walter, a 76-year-old retired school principal. He had always taken pride in his appearance, shaving daily, wearing freshly pressed clothes, and never stepping outside without a touch of cologne. Yet one afternoon, his granddaughter hugged him and innocently asked why he smelled different. At first, Walter felt embarrassed and even a little hurt. He thought he had been doing everything right. It wasn't until a trip to the barber that the answer came out. His barber casually mentioned some flaky buildup behind Walter's ears, something he hadn't noticed himself. That was the hidden culprit. Walter had been skipping that area for months, assuming it stayed clean on its own. But the reality is that this little zone is one of the body's major odor traps, especially for people who wear hearing aids. These devices reduce airflow and often cause extra sweating, making the problem even worse if the area isn't washed thoroughly. It's essential to keep this area both clean and dry. And it's not just about the skin itself. Earrings, glasses, or other jewelry that many people wear daily can easily trap grime and oil, especially if they aren't cleaned often. Remember, behind the ear is one of the warmest little zones on the body, and warmth plus moisture creates the perfect environment for bacteria to thrive if it isn't washed regularly. Fortunately, the solution is simple and quick. During your shower, take just a few extra seconds to gently scrub behind your ears with a soft, soapy cloth, or even your fingertips. Afterward, dry it thoroughly so no dampness lingers. This tiny step, often overlooked, can completely eliminate one of the most common hidden causes of odor in older adults. And if you wear hearing aids, don't forget that they also need regular cleaning. When sweat and oil build up under or around the device, it can intensify the problem, even if the skin is clean. Think about those little everyday interactions, when someone leans in for a hug, or you're sitting close to others in conversation. If there's an odd scent, chances are it's coming from this very spot, hidden in plain sight. That's why giving it proper care matters so much. Cleaning behind the ears may seem minor, but in truth, it's the smallest habits that create the biggest impact. Keeping this area fresh ensures that your presence feels pleasant, confident, and comfortable for both you and those around you. Now, let's talk about another often forgotten area: the toenails and the skin beneath them. This part of the body, though small, is one of the most neglected when it comes to senior hygiene. As we grow older, bending down to reach our feet becomes more challenging. Tasks that once felt effortless, like trimming, scrubbing, or checking between the toes, can suddenly take more time, more effort, and sometimes even cause discomfort, especially for those living with arthritis, stiff backs, or balance issues. Because of this, many older adults unintentionally skip proper foot care. But here's the problem. Your toenails are like tiny magnets for odor-causing buildup. Dead skin cells, sweat, and even small bits of lint from your socks can get trapped beneath the nail. Add a little moisture to that mix, and suddenly you've created the perfect environment for bacteria and fungus to grow. The result? A strong, sometimes sour odor that lingers no matter how fresh the rest of your body may be. I recall Gerald, an 81-year-old man who always took pride in his appearance. He showered daily, wore crisp, clean clothes, and carried himself with dignity. Yet, every time his daughter helped him with his shoes, a sharp odor filled the room. Gerald was puzzled. How could this happen when he bathed so carefully every single day? The answer became clear during a visit to a podiatrist. His toenails hadn't been cleaned beneath the surface in months. The skin under them was soft, discolored, and releasing an odor that wasn't coming from his socks or his shoes at all, but from the nails themselves. This wasn't just about smell anymore. It had turned into a real health concern. Over time, that kind of buildup doesn't simply create embarrassment. It can open the door to bacteria and fungal infections. And for older adults, especially those living with diabetes or circulation issues, these problems can quickly escalate, affecting healing and overall mobility. Even if your feet look fine on the outside, don't assume they're clean underneath the nails. Think about it. Every step you take produces sweat, and that moisture doesn't just evaporate. It gets trapped between the toes and beneath the nails, creating hidden pockets where odor and infection begin. And as toenails naturally thicken with age, it becomes even harder to see what's really happening underneath them. Fungus can quietly spread without causing any pain, and by the time you notice itching, discoloration, or discomfort, the odor has often been the first silent warning sign. Isn't it surprising how something so small can give away such a big problem? The encouraging news is that you don't need to twist yourself into impossible positions just to keep your feet clean. A simple tool like a soft bristled toothbrush or a small nail brush can work wonders. Using it once or twice a week to gently scrub around and beneath the nails can stop buildup before it becomes an issue. If bending down or reaching your feet is difficult, there's no shame in asking a trusted family member for help or visiting a foot care specialist who understands the needs of older adults. Just as important is what you do after every shower. Drying your feet completely, especially between the toes. Moisture left behind may seem harmless, but it creates the exact environment bacteria and fungi love. Footwear also plays a bigger role than many people realize. Wearing the same pair of shoes every day without giving them time to air out allows odor to build up and then transfer right back to your skin. Rotating your shoes whenever possible, using foot powders or sprays, and washing your socks thoroughly, ideally in hot water to kill bacteria, can make all the difference. Our feet are the foundation that carry us through every stage of life. The way we care for them isn't just about hygiene, it's also about comfort, dignity, and protecting our independence as we age. Clean and healthy feet not only feel better, they smell better, and they reduce the risk of slips, infections, and health complications that can become more serious over time. So the next time you step into the shower, pause and give your feet the extra care they deserve. Because sometimes, the odor that follows you throughout the day doesn't come from the obvious places. It starts right below, at your feet. Your support helps us continue creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move on. Number 5. The folds behind the knees. This is one area almost nobody ever thinks about, yet it plays a surprisingly big role in body odor as we age. The soft, creased skin at the back of your leg is often washed quickly, if at all, and then forgotten. But here's the truth. This spot is warm, closed off, and hidden from airflow. Exactly the kind of environment where sweat, bacteria, and even leftover soap residue love to collect. And when those things build up, they don't just disappear with a quick rinse. They create an unpleasant smell that lingers on your skin, your clothes, and sometimes even in the chair where you've been sitting. Think for a moment about how the body works when you're seated for long stretches with your knees bent. That crease behind the knee stays compressed, meaning little to no circulation of air, more trapped moisture, and a perfect pocket where odor-causing bacteria can thrive. Add in things like lotion, body oil, or powder that doesn't fully wash away, and suddenly you've got a recipe for irritation and smell that can follow you throughout the day. For many older adults, reaching this area isn't easy. Mobility issues, stiff joints, or even the fear of bending too much and risking a fall can make it tempting to just let water run over the area during a shower. But over time, water alone isn't enough. The grime, sweat, and bacteria that gather in those folds need gentle but deliberate cleaning to be removed completely. I remember Judy, a 76-year-old woman, who once told me she always felt clean after bathing, yet she noticed a persistent musty odor whenever she changed her clothes. She was puzzled. She tried switching laundry detergents, washed her towels more often, and even used deodorant on her feet, thinking that must be the problem. But the source wasn't her clothes or her feet. It was the neglected folds right behind her knees. During a routine checkup, Judy's nurse gently pointed out something she had never noticed. The skin behind her knees was slightly discolored and damp. She hadn't been washing that area thoroughly, and over time, the buildup of sweat, bacteria, and residue had caused not only an odor but also mild irritation. Judy was surprised. She thought her regular showers were enough. But once she began gently cleansing behind her knees with a soft cloth, using mild soap, and then patting the area completely dry, the odor disappeared within just a few days. The truth is, this part of your body doesn't require harsh scrubbing or special treatments. A simple routine with warm water, gentle soap, and a soft washcloth is all it takes. The most important factor is consistency. Make it a habit to give those folds attention, and always remember to dry them thoroughly afterward. Moisture is the real enemy here, and if it lingers, odor will return. Even if your showers are quick, you can still do a seated wash using a damp towel or bathing wipe. Small efforts that make a big difference. For those who find bending difficult, there are long-handled scrubbers designed specifically to help seniors safely reach tricky spots like this. Tools like these make the process easier and safer, ensuring no area gets neglected. After all, why let something so small affect your confidence? Doesn't it make sense that a few extra seconds of care can save you from hours of discomfort later? Body odor rarely comes from one obvious place. More often, it's a collection of overlooked areas that together create a noticeable scent. That's why being mindful of hidden zones like the folds behind the knees can truly transform how fresh you feel each day. You deserve to feel comfortable, confident, and at ease in your own skin. And sometimes, it's these little overlooked details that end up making the biggest impact. Final thoughts. Now that we've gone through these 5 overlooked spots, it's worth pausing for a moment and reflecting on your own habits. Are there areas you may have skipped without even realizing it? Most of us don't ignore them on purpose. Daily life gets busy, routines become automatic, and we assume that a quick shower has taken care of everything. But has it really? The truth is, these small blind spots in hygiene, especially as we age, can have a much bigger effect than we expect. A little buildup of sweat or bacteria in the wrong place can change how fresh you feel and even affect your confidence. The good news is, once you're aware of these hidden zones, the fix is simple and completely within your control. Taking care of yourself has never been only about looking clean. It's about feeling comfortable in your own skin, staying healthy, and carrying yourself with pride. When you pay attention to those forgotten areas, whether it's behind your ears, beneath your toenails, or the folds of your skin, you're not just removing odor, you're protecting your well-being and your dignity. And here's the encouraging part. You don't have to overhaul your entire routine. Start small. Add 1 or 2 of these areas to your regular washing habits and build from there. Keep a gentle washcloth handy, or if bending is a challenge, use a long-handled sponge. Always take a moment to dry those folds and creases fully, because moisture left behind is one of the biggest culprits of lingering odor over time. These tiny adjustments soon become second nature. And when they do, you'll not only feel fresher, but you'll also move through the world with more confidence. Isn't it worth just a few extra seconds to feel that much better every day? It's never too late to adjust the way you care for yourself. Even the smallest, most thoughtful actions can make a meaningful difference in how you age, helping you move forward with grace, dignity, and confidence. The next time you step into the shower, take an extra moment. Sometimes the difference between feeling truly fresh and feeling frustrated comes down to just one more gentle wipe, one more careful rinse. Isn't that worth it for the peace of mind it brings? Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share one thing you discovered in this video and how you plan to apply it in your own life. Your voice matters, and reading your experiences gives us encouragement and motivation to keep creating content that supports and inspires you. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who may benefit. Your support makes it possible for us to continue bringing you practical, empowering health insights. Wishing you abundant health, lasting happiness, and peaceful days ahead. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so we can stay connected on this journey together.